Swift Horses movie review. Welcome to Mirror Domains on Swift Horses. Stars Daisy Edgar-Jones, Will Poulter, Diego Calva, and Jacob Elordi. And it tells the tale of Muriel and her husband Lee that are about to begin a new bright life, which is upended by the arrival of Lee's brother. Now, if you saw the trailers for this, guys, it looks like it's a period piece, in which it is. And I got to tell you, my initial reactions to this is a little bit mixed. The performances in it are good. Jacob Elordi, Daisy Edgar-Jones does a great job. But the standout for me was Will Poulter in this. Will Poulter, he plays the husband. Now, that synopsis on IMDb didn't quite do it justice, so let me try to put my spin on it. Jacob Elordi is the brother to Will Poulter, and Will Poulter is married to Daisy Edgar-Jones. Oh, is there going to be a love triangle? Because, well, you look at the trailers for this, and at the beginning, he's a war veteran coming in. There's for some reason, a shot of him shirtless on the top of their car, and he's like, okay, I know where this is going. No, you don't know where this is going. Basically, Jacob Elordi and Daisy Edgar-Jones are kind of not good people. They're scumbags. And it's okay. We've seen movies about scumbags before, and they don't respect the relationships that they're in. And it's because they have preferences other than what's portrayed in the movies. And you feel really bad for Will Poulter in this, because he's the guy that's playing it straight. He's the one that's well, I don't mean it like that guy. I mean, like he's like, yeah, this is who I am. This is I'm truthful. I'm a man of my word, kind of thing, right? And he's got this brilliant speech at the end of the movie where he talks about that. He realizes his wife doesn't really love him, and he's not going to hold her to it, right? There doesn't seem to be a lot of animosity there. He accepts it because his brother is also like that. He's seen that his brother had just torn through relationships, and he sees that, oh, I'm on this side too. You're not really in love with me. You're just using me, right? And it's a tale like that. And if you can understand that, then you might get value out of this. The thing is that because you've got two storylines going on, you got the Will Poulter, Daisy Edgar-Jones story going on, and then you've got this side story with Diego Calva and Jacob Elordi, and it feels like the director was trying to balance the two very well. Well, they were not very well, actually, to tell you the truth. It really destroyed the pacing of this movie. So for me, at the midpoint, I was like, get rid of the Jacob Elordi stuff. I want to go back to the Daisy Edgar-Jones storyline, because that, like, we get it. He's in love with the guy, and he's a gambling addict, and he gets himself into trouble, and he's not really all that likable. But you are kind of interested in her character, because she's got this thing where she's using her smarts to help out her life situations, right? To bet on horses, because she works in a cafe where all these bettors come in, and she hears all the tips and stuff like that. And that was fascinating. But you want to see how she's going to start to reveal her true self to Will Poulter. And you feel so bad for the guy at the end. And I think the movie was trying to be like a revelation of, hey, this is the tragic story of people coming to realize who they are, and if they hurt people along the way, then so be it, right? I don't necessarily like that message, but it's like, this is the troubles that this community had in this time period. But man, you feel so bad for Will Poulter, because he got used so bad and strung along, and he's like, dude, oh my God. And at the end of it, you're just like, for the runtime of an hour and 57 minutes, you just feel like you yourself have been abused watching this, because you don't really root for them to really fall in love or find love, right? You don't really root for that, for at least that's not the way I was looking at it. What we'll do is we'll take a look at the tomato meter here, but let's fill in some scores on my score sheet, and figure out where we are. Acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points. Cinematography and score are out of 1 point each. Acting, I got to give the nod at least 1.5 because Will Poulter, they were all good. Sasha Kali or whatever comes in there as well. And he's, as soon as her character comes in, then you know exactly where this movie's going. And I guess if you're part of this community, then this will be totally relatable to you. But like I look at it as a movie as a whole. That's the way, because I'm a movie fan first, and the structure is it's muddled. It's all over the place, and it's hard because you just get invested into one performance and you want to see that go somewhere, and then we're cutting to people cheating at gambling, and it's like, well, wait, whoa, I want to go back. And Diego Calvo wasn't all that good. I gotta say that. I know that'll rub some people the wrong way. Directing, I gotta give 1 point here because the execution of the story was not all that great. The story itself, I could see what they were trying to shoot for, but there's some like the technical aspects of the cinematography was decent. It's got some really good shots in there. So if I were going to give some points for that, I'll give some respect to that, especially the final shot there. He sort of, well, I guess without giving spoilers there, he's a very cinematic director, right? Okay, so we're sitting at 5 out of 10. Let's go over to the tomato meter and see what people are saying about this movie on Swift Horses and try to get a little bit of consensus here. 53%. Oi! Well, we're sitting at 5 right now, and after my watchability factor, let's see what people are saying about the criticisms here. William Bibiani, Minahan has made a film about embracing life when you're not legally allowed to, and he refuses to make it watching it a misery, no matter how rough it gets. No, it is kind of a misery because you're trashing all over Will Poulter here, and it sucks. It really sucks. Maxwell Rao, Chicago Reader, for a movie whose core metaphor is about gambling. Yeah, there's like this weird gambling thing going on, which, hey, is right up my alley. I like to play the odd occasional hand of poker. On Swift Horses rarely takes risks, sketching superficial characters that are more ideas than real people. Yeah, maybe that's what I didn't like about it. Because some of the characters are a little on the nose of, okay, well, we know what character she's going to serve in this story, the Sasha Kali character. We know exactly where it's going as soon as you see her, right? And I still also refuse to believe that maybe that's the way it is in this community where it's, no, because I'm walking around and I don't get hit on by guys. It just doesn't happen. And this movie's portraying like that happens all the time. It's like, no, because if you do, then I'll be like, thank you, but no thanks. James, how dare you do that? You just insulted a whole bunch of people. Well, this is the kind of thing that this movie's trying to drum up those feelings in here. And as I said, you feel bad for the Will Poulter character because they're walking all over him. They're abusing him. He's got noble intentions of starting a family, looking out for his brother, and, coming back from this war that they were both in. And it's just like, yeah, maybe the 53% is warranted here. Maybe it is. Let's take a look at some audience reviews. On Swift Horses was a poignant film on the demons that were part of life during the silent generation. Daisy Edgar-Jones undertook this both as producer and star. Okay, so that sounds a little bit biased. John, honestly, it was tasteful. It showed the meaning of love, that there is hope, never give up on love and who you love. Well, she doesn't really love anybody, though. She's the main character, and she doesn't really love anybody. She just uses people. She uses the Sasha Kali character. She uses Will Poulter's character, right? And I felt like the Jacob Elordi character was supposed to be, okay, this is how you are not supposed to go around doing this type of business. If you love somebody, or if you don't know that you love somebody, you shouldn't destroy other people while you're on that way. Step away from it. And I guess maybe at the end she does sort of do that. But they're trying to portray it as some kind of like, hey, this is the real positive message. And it's like, no, you've ruined people. You've destroyed people. And maybe that's what this movie is trying to say. That back in that time period, people's lives were ruined. And if that's the message, then message received. But it's I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard on it. Look at the log line here. How much would you gamble for love? Hmm. Yeah. Effort to hop in the live chat. Let's take some live comments here before I wrap up my score sheet here. YouTube chat. 5 out of 10. Ouch, James don't like sword fighting films. That are you talking about? No, it's not that. It's just I don't. If people are going to get abused, I like to see a story of someone coming around and say, "I'm sorry I treated you like that, brother. I'm sorry that I went on this journey of self-destruction, but I'm coming out on the other side of this a better person." And this movie doesn't do that. She just leaves his house and is at the end, and he's sitting there with some money on the table, and is like, okay. Well, anyway, that's it for Swift Horses. On Swift Horses, let's not rag on this film anymore, because let's wrap up the score sheet. If you are interested in the subject matter, I think this movie will have some value in there for you just to see how it pans out. But 5.5 out of 10, I can't recommend it on the big screen. There's nothing. This is a streaming movie at best. So 5.5 out of 10 for On Swift Horses. Guys, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Hey, if you like this kind of thing, come join us here on the channel, because next we'll be removing the movie Until Dawn and The Accountant 2. So, come join us here on Mirror Domains. Oh, did I put my foot in my mouth on that one, or what? Wait, you got to be careful about this subject matter, because even though that I'm trying to say something honest about the film itself and the characters, one little thing can just make people think, oh, you're a bigot, oh, you're a hater. And it's like, no, I'm talking about the movie here, guys. And this one is kind of a letdown. And if you didn't notice, if you looked at the IMDb, it says 2024. So it looked like this movie had some trouble getting some distribution, and it's finally coming out now. It's going to have a smaller release window here. It's not going to have a wide, like 4,000 theater release or anything like that. Daisy Edgar-Jones does a good job, but it just feels like some storylines just go off to nowhere. Like her horse gambling thing was a really fascinating idea, but it just doesn't go anywhere.